morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start by sitting up nice and tall or standing up nice and tall, keeping the hips tucked, that pelvis tucked. And we're going to start with our chin tucks for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Maintain that length through the spine. Head turns 5 each direction, alternating. Ready? Here we go. 1, back to center, other side. 2, back to center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. We're going to go into our warm-up. It's going to be 4 minutes long. We're going to go for 1 minute each move. And then we're going to do, just like last week, we have another 45, 15 for 12 minutes long. We'll go through each of the 12 exercises, break, and then do it 2 more rounds, okay? So the first exercise we are going to do are, give me 1 second here. We did this last week. We started with this. I want to show you from a side profile standing. This can be done seated too, though. I want you to think of everything as quiet from the ribs down, okay? You're only creating movement through your upper thoracic spine here, okay? So I'm rolling down through the upper, feeling this nice stretch through the back, and then I'm pulling everything back and opening up, and heart comes to ceiling. And then I'm rolling again, and I'm sliding my fingertips up and down my thighs. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and mobilize that upper body here. We've got 1 minute of that. Okay. So let's get ready. This looks the same seated or standing. Seated, you're just kind of like coming down the sides of your shins instead. Okay. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. So remember, everything rib cage and below is quiet. Everything rib cage and above is moving. Okay. So we're trying to target our upper abdominals as well as some shoulder mobility. Okay, so here I am with the seated version. I'm going to go to standing now. Just see, you can see that side profile, heart to ceiling. Rounding down, tucking the chin, heart to ceiling. We're working the upper abdominals right now, and shoulder mobility and stability. Scapular retraction helps with good posture. We have 15 more seconds here, and then we're going to go into a sit squat to a wide pull. I'll show you in the recovery time. 3, 2, and 1. So the next one, we're going to do a sit squat with an eye raise. We're going to come up like this, and then when we drive up, we're going to pull those elbows back and around like we're trying to come like this, okay? So we're gonna eye squat and then drive it up, around. Eye squat, drive it up, around. Okay, you're seated. We're doing leg extension, W, okay? Leg extension, W. Okay, we're firing up the back. So. Up. You should feel the back of the shoulders working with the W, and your legs and glutes working with the sit squat or leg extensions. 5 more seconds. And time. Okay, the next one, 4 count cherry pickers with an arm circle. Okay, so we know the drill here. 2, 3, give me an arm circle. Okay, I'm gonna do some seated here. It looks the same. Ready and begin. Reach, middle, in, arm circle. Warming up the posterior chain of the body, as well as the shoulders and hips. Good, keep it going. I'm gonna move to standing. You don't have to touch the floor, but you might notice that each repetition, you start to loosen up a little bit more, okay? You feel you're getting a little bit further down. No forcing, okay? Just working through your natural movement here. We have 15 more seconds here, and then we're gonna do our standing bird dog for 30 seconds each side. Now, we did this in our workout last week. I moved it up to warm up this week. 2 and 1. What I want you to think about with standing bird dog, you can use the side of your chair here. Your hips should stay square, okay? So I'm gonna come here, opposite arm and leg. My hips don't pop up. You shouldn't have your glutes facing you. You stay nice and square. Exhale in. Okay, so you can either tap that toe on the background, or you can keep it extended, whatever works, okay? Remember that that exhale is a very important part of your core contraction. Sitting. We're gonna switch sides in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. So whether you're standing or seated, remember those hips need to stay square to the ground, okay? I'm gonna show you again. All right. Hips stay square. All right, your glutes face the back wall and ceiling. They don't face the side walls. I'm really using that exhale as I bring my knee and elbow together to get deep into my deep core muscles. And time, okay. That is our 4-minute warm up. And now we're going to start with our 45-15, okay? So we are going to start with alternating lunges or seated leg press, okay? So remember with your lunges, if you're standing, you can use both hands on the back of the chair, okay? Remember your quality is really important, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm driving up through that front heel. You could do one arm, okay, this way. You could do no arms if you're advanced. I'm gonna start with the seated variation of alternating seated leg press. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So I'm leaned back slightly. I'm digging through the heel of my foot. This is a great chair exercise right here. If you're ever just not feeling the lunges one day, don't think that you're not getting good work here. This is actually really good abdominal work here too, because you have to scoop into a C curve here. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it going here. Next, we're gonna go into a body saw. And this is it's a standing Pilates ab exercise, okay? Pilates is all about core strength and mobility and flexibility, really healthy exercise patterns, okay? So for our standing variation, our saw is gonna look like this, okay? We're gonna twist, we're gonna exhale, reach down, come back up in that twist, center, and then twist, exhale, reach down, come back up in that twist, center, okay? Seated, it's gonna look very similar. Twist, reach, up, center. Twist, reach, up, center, okay? Twist, reach, up, center. Twist, up, center. Keep it going, twist. Next, we have our lateral 2-step with a elbow to knee. And time. Okay, so our next one is step together, step. Okay, all right. Seated, we're doing 2 lateral abductions, 2 alt knee up to elbow. So step, 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 step. Okay, so you pick which variation is good for you. Remember, our body moves in 3 planes of motion. We are 3-dimensional. So we move front and back, side to side, and rotationally. So we train our body that way because we naturally move that way in real life, right? Squat to press is next, okay? So if you're using weights, you can go ahead and grab your weights here, okay? So we're gonna do our sit squat to overhead press. If the pressing is no good, you can do a bicep curl instead, okay? So we're going to squat, press, sit squat, press, okay? If that's no good, sit squat, curl, okay? Sit squat, curl. And of course, if we're doing seated variation, leg extension, I'm going to do a press here, but you could also do a curl. Next, we're going to do 2 bent over rows, 1 high pull, and 1 bicep curl, okay? We did this last week. 5 more seconds here. All right, so this is a combination movement. So it's our hinge. We go row, row, knuckles forward, high pull, knuckles flip around, bicep curl. Again, row, row, high pull, here we go. Bicep curl, okay? Seated, it looks like this. Row, row, knuckles forward, high pull, bicep curl. Talk yourself through each move so you can find your rhythm and your pattern, your pace. Remember, the timer is just a guide to keep our format on schedule. Okay, you can always stop early, get a drink whenever you need to. 5 more seconds here. Good. All right, so our next one, we're going to do half and half. We're going to do a prisoner hand here if you can, okay? You're going to point your toe here, all right? Standing ab exercise. We're going to knee. Okay, keep your toe pointed. Knee. If you have to hold onto a chair, knee, okay? Feel this core. Knee. Keeping the toe pointed will help you get into your core, really challenging our balance. Okay, seated. Looks the same. Let's go ahead and switch sides, okay? You should feel a little bit of upper back work too. Try to keep your spine lengthened, okay? Try not to round forward. Try to keep your elbows back. If you need to break your arms, that's okay. 10 more seconds here. Two and 1. Okay, next we are doing our bob and weave. Nothing new here, okay? Over and under. Over and under, okay? Seated, we're gonna keep our feet wide, stationary, and just work on the over and under with our upper body. Here we go. If you're using weights, look for your lighter pair or use no weights here. This is also a good one for no weights. We're gonna do that bent elbow reverse fly with our internal and external rotation, which we did last week. Good. 10 more seconds here. And then lighter dumbbells or no dumbbells for water bottles. 2 and 1. Okay. I'm grabbing my lighter weights here. It looks the same seated or standing. This is where we come into that 90-degree bend at the elbow. Pull back. Internal, external, together. Okay. I'm keeping my core engaged, my glutes tight if I'm standing here. Looks the same seated, right? I'm making sure I'm not arching through my lower back. We don't want stress on our lower back. So by engaging your glutes and keeping that length in your spine, you can help prevent that. We're going into total body extensions next. That's our momentum movement, like we're swinging. Three, two, and one. Good. So body weight movement next from seated position. Our feet are under our hips. We hinge forward. We can come up onto our toes. Momentum, right? And then at the top, our core stops us. Standing. You can be right here. If you're advanced, you might come up onto your toes. This is an excellent core exercise. That also helps elevate our heart rate. Remember, sometimes when we're seeking to train abdominals, our core strength is very important. But if you're interested in the physical attributes of abdominals, you know, your diet is really going to come into play, okay? Because abs are made in the kitchen, meaning the less body fat you have around your midsection, the more you're going to see your work. 2, and time, okay. Next, rotational movements. Cross jab with a pivot. Okay, seated, there's less of a pivot, okay, but you'll still feel that strong oblique work. And your heart rate go up. Ready? Here we go. Also training our back and arms. Especially if you can hold a pair of light dumbbells here if you'd like to up your intensity. I try to up my intensity by putting a little gusto between my punch or into my punch, like I mean it. Like maybe think of that at a fair where you're throwing balls to knock over pins or something like that, like bowling pins. Think of punching those pins down. Punch. 2, and 1. Okay. Tricep extensions are next. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take our weights or even do body weight. All right. You're in a mild hinge here. You don't have to be too extreme. And you're really at this part right here, squeezing the back of the arm. All right. When you're in that full extension is when the muscle is contracted. All right. So we're just going to do triceps the whole time. Looks the same seated. I'm just thinking about squeezing when they're long. We have one more exercise after this, and that is round 1. And then we're kind of primed and ready to go for our next 2 rounds. All right. 10 more seconds here. And then we're going to go into 4 sumo squats to 4 alternating side bends. I'll show you what it looks like in 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Sumo, remember, heels are outside the width of the shoulders, toes are out. Okay. We're going to go 1, squeeze up, 2, squeeze up, 3, squeeze up, and 4, squeeze up. Now I want you to come down and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back down. 1. Okay. 2, 3, 4. All right. Seated. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So you pick which variation. The standing, you get a little bit of that isometric hold, and that's time. Okay. So that's our first round through. All right. We are going to get a drink here. Oops. And start over. Okay. So now I'm going to go to standing for these. okay? And we kind of have an idea what's to come. All right, so next set, we're starting with our lunges or seated leg press, okay? That's where we start, alternating. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so remember, I'm driving up through that front heel, okay, so I can really get into that glute on the front leg. Lunges work the entire leg, all right, but it helps when you are able to connect what your body's doing, like when you're thinking it through, okay? Believe it or not, these don't look like a direct core exercise because we're working leg muscles, but the fact that you're working single leg means you have to use a certain amount of core to stabilize yourself, okay? So you're getting your core here too. And time, okay? Going back to that standing Pilates saw, okay? So you can do this, it looks the same seated, okay? We're gonna go ahead, remember, we're gonna twist, reach it down towards the opposite leg, back up, twist, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? 1, 2. Good, 10 more seconds here. And we're gonna go to lateral 2-step with a cross with a knee tuck. All right, okay? So lateral 2-step to crossbody knee tuck, or you're giving me 2 lateral taps to crossbody knee, okay? So let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Step together, step. So the first exercise, we have a hinge and a rotation. Now we have a hip flexion and rotation. Two, 1. Sit squat to press, or sit squat to bicep curl, or leg extension to press or bicep curl. Okay, that all depends on if your shoulders like the press or not, okay? Here we go. We're going to drive, sit down, drive through the heels, press. Drive it up, press. All right, again, my weight is in the heel of my foot so that when I start to stand up, I really get into my glutes here at the top end. When I'm standing up, my glutes should feel really engaged. Go at a pace that's comfortable for you. We have 2 rows, high pull, bicep curl combination next. And time. Remember, feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward, whether you're seated or standing. We're gonna hinge, we're gonna row, row, high pull, bicep curl. Ready? Here we go. Hinge, row, row, high pull, bicep curl. Row, row, high pull, bicep curl. Okay, a lot of cognitive thinking here. Knuckles are forward for the high pull, and then you flip them back for the bicep curl. They're out to the sides for the row. So you gotta really think about your pattern. 3, 2, and time. Okay, next we are going to our half and half prisoner knee raises. Okay, so I want you to lengthen through the leg here, seated or standing. That toe stays pointed. If you need to hold on to the side of the chair, go ahead and do so. All right, so you're kind of crunching the upper body in. I'm curling through the upper body, keeping the toe lengthened and pointed. Woo, kind of need a chair here. All right, we're going to switch in 3, 2, 1. Other side, okay? Standing Pilates move. Curl. Whew, you might notice one side's harder than the other. I need a chair. 2 and 1. Ooh, okay. All right. Next, we have our bob and weave. Okay. So remember, your feet are stationary here if you're doing the seated variation. If you're standing, we're going to lateral side step and duck. So here we go. Under and over. If you're feeling advanced, we've been working on this one for a while. If you feel really confident with this and you'd like to hold a weight up here at your chest, you can do so. Trying to be nimble and agile, right? Working those side glutes here. Good stabilizers for our balance. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Rear delt fly with internal, external rotation, okay? Woo-hoo. With or without weight, seated or standing. If you're standing, really make sure you're tucking and curling under so that you don't put stress here, okay? If you've ever had shoulder issues and you were in physical therapy, you might recognize these internal, external rotations. I'm a big fan of prehab work mixed into my strength training and cardio to help prevent, all right, and reverse unhealthy postures. Two and 1. Okay. Total body extension, back to core and cardio here. Feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward, whether you're seating or standing. Remember, there's a lot of momentum as we come back. Fingertips are along for the ride, and then we come up, our core and glutes stop us. If you're advanced, you can even do it up on your toes. You pick your tempo, okay? You might like something slow, like this, or you may prefer something a little faster. It all depends on your level and your comfort. Okay, you don't have to come up onto your toes. You can stay flat-footed. Cross jabs are next. And time, okay? So standing, you're gonna get some pivot on that leg. Not so much if you're seated, that's okay. You're still gonna get really good oblique work, okay? You can hold light weights here if you'd like. You don't have to. I like to put that gusto into my punch. Like I can feel my muscles trying to be explosive. Like say imagine you're hitting a speed bag, okay? You wanna make it move. How's that breath? Remember, a strong breathing pattern really helps work your core, okay? Your transverse abdominals, the deepest core muscles we have. Remember, we have lots of different core muscles. 2 and 1. Okay, next, tricep extensions, seated or standing. Just a gentle hinge here, okay? Soft knee. As we squeeze, we tell the muscle to contract in this lengthened state. Here we go. Our deepest core muscles are our transverse abdominals. Our breath really plays a key role in strengthening those, our breathing. We have the rectus abdominis, which are like the 6-pack, right? The internal and external obliques, with which we target with our different types of rotational movements. Ten more seconds. And time. Okay, let's go into sumo squats, 2 alternating side bends. We have 4 and 4, okay? Or you're gonna do alternating lateral abduction for 4, okay? Here we go. So we're gonna go 1, 2, drive through the heels, 3, 4, but stay down. 1, 2, 3, 4, back up. 1, 2, weight in the heels. 3, squeeze and squeeze. 4, bring it down. 1, feel the stretch. 2, and the isometric work in the legs. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. All right, guys, that's round 2. Okay, get a drink. We're going to go through it one more time here, okay? So get ready. We are starting with our alternating lunges. Remember, you can do the seated alternating leg press too. If you're in that seat curve, this is an excellent. If you're getting tired with the accumulated fatigue, don't underestimate this exercise. Okay, see how I'm kind of curved back here? All right. Otherwise, you can do lunges with 2 hands, 1 hand, or no hands, okay? All right, let's go. Final set of everything. Lunges, alternating. We're alternating seated leg press in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. 1, 2, drive through the heel. I'm also making sure that my feet have, from left to right, have space between them, okay? So that our stance is not too narrow, because we do want to focus on the muscle contractions in the leg versus all balance, okay? And if we're too front and back, meaning like this, see how, then you're so focused on this that you can't really engage the leg muscles properly, okay? So keep that space from left to right. And time, okay? Going back to our Pilates solve, okay? So this looks the same, seated or standing. All right, 4 count, our feet are wider than shoulder width. All right, we're gonna start with rotating, reaching down towards the opposite leg, coming back up, and then coming to center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of you that take Pilates might be familiar with this from our seated position. Sometimes we pulse it when we're down, but since we're standing, we're not going to add the pulses. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, lateral 2-step to a cross-body knee, okay? Or 2 lateral abductions from the seated position to a cross-body knee. Ready? And begin. So step together, step. And you might even do one of these, but I forget what they're called. It's another step move if you're advanced. Otherwise, keep it with your steps. Do what feels right. Good. 15 more seconds here. Then we're going to squat to overhead press. If your shoulders do not like the overhead press, you can give me a bicep curl instead, okay? And time. Okay, grab your weights if you're using them, okay? Feet are about shoulder width apart. Toes slightly flared out here, all right? And we're gonna go ahead, drive it down. We're only there for a second, up, right? We're not trying to get comfy in our chair. We're just trying to go through that full range. And sometimes not using the chair is fine too, but sometimes with the safety of knowing the chair is behind us, we get a little bit deeper into our squat pattern because we know we're ensured that the chair is there to save us. Move at your own pace. 10 more seconds here. And we're going to go to 2 rows, 1 high pull, and 1 bicep curl. Time, okay? So remember, I'm going to do this close while we're waiting. My knuckles are out to the side. Row, row. I flip them forward, high pull, and now I flip them back. Bicep curl, okay? 3 directions with the knuckles. Here we go. Row, row, high pull, bicep curl. Row, row, high pull, bicep curl. We're getting our lats with the row. We're getting our rear delts with the high pull. We're getting our biceps with the bicep curl. It's called a pull complex. All 3 of these exercises are pull exercises. 3, 2, and time. Okay, all done with those. All right, we've got those prisoner knee taps. Okay, this is another Pilates move here. If your arms get tired, you can take them down. You can hold on to the side of the hips. This is, truthfully, this is kind of hard because we're trying to keep that toe pointed. We're trying to stabilize all on one leg here, challenging our balance. Really having to listen to our body. One more rep, we're gonna switch sides. All right, other side, extending long, toe pointed. It's totally normal for one side to feel harder than the other. We're not symmetrical, like I always say. Woo-hoo. Hold on to that chair if you need to. And time, okay. Next, we are going into our bob and weave. Okay, so remember, if you're seated, your feet just stay stationary in that wide stance. Otherwise, we're gonna step under and over. Ready? And begin. Under and over. See, I'm playing with my hand variations here just to add some complexity to the movement. It is not necessary, but some of you, I feel, are ready for it from our conversation. All right, so incorporating our cognitive health with our physical health. And time, okay, woo, get a drink if you need it. Rear delt fly with internal and external rotations next, with or without weight, seated or standing. As always, remember, we're tucking, okay? Tuck to protect here. Here we go. Pull back, internal, external, together. Squeezing the back muscles. Don't need weight for this or lightweight. Remember, the muscle groups we're working right now are small. It wouldn't be appropriate to use heavy weights for small muscle groups, okay? You start recruiting other muscles you're not intending to, and that can lead to injury, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, y'all done with those. Total body extensions for the final time. Seated or standing, those toes are forward and right under the hips, okay? All right, hands come to the outside as we push the hips towards the wall, nice and neutral to the spine, and up. I have to be honest with you, so the advanced way is up on your toes. Sometimes I prefer this over the advanced because I really feel the glute squeeze and the core engagement right here. So don't always think that the most advanced version is the best version. Don't always think that the heaviest weight is the best version, okay? It's all about mind muscle connection and proper form and consistency, all right? That's your recipe for success. Time, okay? Whew. Cross jabs. Take your extra rest if you need it. I know I'm really feeling it at this point, that fatigue accumulates, okay? All right, remember we're pivoting on that back foot if we're standing. You can use weights here, if you so please, lighter ones. And if you're seated, you just don't have as much pivot, that's fine. Don't focus on the pivot because you are seated. Focus on that, this. Focus on feeling that oblique work and some intensity behind your punch, like you mean it. You're a little mad. 15 more seconds here. Don't stop, I just fix the timer. We're going into tricep extensions next. 2 and 1. Good. Under that short sleeve weather. So make sure we keep those arms nice and toned, all right? This is an isolation movement for the back of our arms here. You know, we always say, oh, I like this part right here. That's what this focuses on, okay? Slight hinge, whether you're seated or standing. Elbows stay close to the body. Extend and squeeze. Neck and spine stay in a nice straight line. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, last one. 4 sumo squats, okay? Or you could call these plie squats, okay? They have more than one name here. So my heels are outside the width of my hips. My knees are out. My toes are out. My knees are going to stay in that direction. We're going to go down for 4. Drive it up. 3. Drive it up. 2. Drive it up. And 1. Drive it up. Come down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Again. 4, 3, 2, and time. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Go ahead and get a drink. Okay, that's our 3 12-minute blocks. We're going to take a minute to cool down here and give a nice proper stretch, okay? So if you can, if you're standing, I'm a big fan of our forward fold on the back of the chair here, okay, because it stretches out our shoulders and our lats. All right, for shoulder mobility, we want to be able to, good shoulder mobility would be able, you can go like this with these, okay? That may not be everyone. Sometimes we're stuck here, okay? And that's okay. We're going to work through our range, all right? But the goal is, ideally, we'd like to be up here, right? So here helps get us into that position, all right? And you can feel the stretch not only through your shoulders and upper back, but also through the posterior side, the backs of your legs and your glutes here, okay? So it's a really good stretch. You get a lot of bang for your buck here. So if you can, you're gonna stay here. You may even want to gently rock your hips, sway them side to side, but only if that feels good and appropriate for you. If this stretch is no good, you're seated. We're gonna come to that seated position. Let's just come up into our eye, wherever that is, okay? What I want to focus on is this length from my tailbone shooting straight up towards, you know, where the wall and ceiling meet. All right. And if your arms are here, that's okay. Don't force them in a position they don't want to be. Good. All right. From here, let's go ahead and get the back of our shoulders, so seated or standing. All right. I'm thinking of coming over and down. Okay. And you might feel some stretch right here. And I'm also trying to visualize where my spine and my shoulder blade, that space in between, I'm actually trying to visualize muscle fibers lengthening there, okay? That's mind-body connection, okay? Mind-muscle connection, all right? You get more out of your exercises, whether they're strength training or they're stretches, when you're able to stay focused and connected on what it is your body part is actually doing, okay? So anytime you start thinking about what you got to get from the grocery store or, you know, your grandkid's birthday or so, you know, like try to be like, okay, wait, after exercise, I'll think about that. Right now it's me. All right. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Excellent. This can be done seated or standing. Just feels good to sit after this 12-minute increments. All right, let's get upper neck and upper trap here. Okay, so we can gently pull and press. Okay, you can kind of extend those fingertips here a little bit. I'm not forcing, I'm just taking it to its edge where I feel the stretch and giving some nice inhales and exhales here. Good. Same thing, other side. Good. Let's do a chest opener here. Okay, we're going to take our palms, put them on the small of our back. Okay, I'm pretending like my elbows touch each other, which they won't. We're just going in that direction. And I like to think of heart to ceiling versus looking all the way up and back. Okay, because we're not trying to hyperextend our lower back. We're just thinking of lifting our heart to ceiling and pulling those elbows back. And you should feel really nice stretch through the front of your body here. I want you to think about this for a second. We're often just from our modern life, okay? We're often really tight through here because our posture is like this, right? Long and lengthened through the back, really tight through the front, right? Let's stretch that out so we can fix our posture, okay? Strengthen the back, loosen up the front here, okay? So again, think heart to ceiling versus trying to lift and go back like this, okay? Good. All right. And let's just finish off with the lower body here. We'll do a hamstring stretch. If you can stand, you can come up onto your chair here or something lower. If that is not comfortable, take it to a seated hamstring stretch and you can just go ahead and extend your leg long here. I'm trying to stay up as I come forward. Okay. Kind of think of more like closing like a suitcase versus like rounding into versus this. Right? I'm kind of doing this, okay? I'm keeping that one through my spine. And then when you're ready, other leg, seated or standing, whatever feels good here. Good. Coming back up, let's go ahead and inhale, palms together, exhale. One more big inhale. And one more big exhale. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's class.